there's a light somewhere underneath.
Welcome again to the Focus on Ability Film Festival. I'm Nova Employment's CEO, Martin Wren. And this year it was a privilege to have an unprecedented number of schools entries into our film competition, each a showcase of the ability of younger students. It's a privilege to bring you the second episode solely dedicated to those entries. Up first tonight from Western Australia, we have Eastern Hills Senior High School's Defeat is a State of Mind.
A disability is a physical or mental condition that limits a person's movements, sense or activities. For some, it can mean they're bedridden and not living right, but for others it can be just a speed bump in their life that they can overcome. Just because your body can't function properly doesn't mean you can't live a life to the fullest and pick out the positives. We met some very inspiring people, Bo, Jim and Jack, and here are their stories.
My disability is distal arthrogryposis. It's a mixture between muscular dystrophy and muscular atrophy. My whole body, except for my head, is basically not meant to be working.
I've got what is known as bilateral avascular necrosis of the hips, and as a result of that, it's sort of debilitated me in my ability to be mobile.
It was a while ago, 1985. I was 25 years old and I had a motorcycle accident. I was racing motorcycles. I was actually in an event, it was called the Wind Safari, and it went from Sydney to Darwin. And in the third day, I think it was, I fell off my motorbike and broke my back.
A challenge to me is just an obstacle that I would either go under, over or around. Wouldn't let it stop me.
The biggest challenges, well, when you have a spinal accident, it's like going back to being a baby, you know. You've got to learn everything all over again, but unfortunately you don't learn how to walk again. But you do your bowel and bladder and all those things, they're all quite seriously affected with a spinal cord injury, so you have to physically learn how to control those again. So that would be the single biggest challenge that you have. Everything else you can put up with. Accessing
places, you know, so whenever I go to a party or I'm invited to go to any sort of function, I always ring up to find out beforehand, if I haven't been there before, what the access is like, because not all buildings are user-friendly for people with mobility restrictions. So in the 80s, I did a 4-year degree, a Bachelor of Social Work at Curtin University, and after that I did a Master of Social Work in the 90s, and towards the end of 1998 I commenced my PhD. The title of the thesis was Living Life, Living Well, Experiences of Renal Transplant Recipients.
Senior black belt within the martial arts school was a big achievement of mine. I was told since I was 6 years old that I would never achieve a black belt, and now I hold it.
When we've been out, we've been to places that many able-bodied people haven't been to, and I suppose the most obscure one would probably be a place called Baxton Camp, and it's a very, very isolated spot. It's probably the hardest four-wheel drive track in Australia at the moment.
The best part for me about being a ninja is that it's not just a traditional martial art.
Going in a race called the Australasian Safari, and the Australasian Safari is an endurance race. So everything's critical that things can last. So you're racing very, very fast over very rough terrain for a very long time.
Ninja is my life. I do ninja every day. But I'm a volunteer. You know, I love doing what I'm doing, and I love helping the kids.
I got a job as a counsellor at Curtin University. Anything that came through the door we would see. And I found that a very rewarding experience as well, because I could feel as though I was doing something to the community.
And now we have ACT's Erindale College with Kick a Ball.
your disability?
Everyone has an ability.
So use the most of that ability. Hi, Grace.
Hey sir, can we blow up stuff?
No, Grace.
Oh. Hey sir, can we kick the football instead?
No, Grace. I'm sorry, I've got a disability.
Hey sir, why does the football fly better than the soccer ball through the air?
Oh, gee, Grace, ask an easy question. It's all to do with shape and how it rotates in the air, Grace. So if it's rolling like that, it'll go a longer distance, but if it does that, it's going to slow down in the air. Air friction stops it. Well, that's a very simple answer to it, Grace. It's a little bit more complicated than that. I'll give you back your ball.
Hey sir, what's your disability?
Well, Grace, I have an incomplete paraplegia. I don't have much feeling from the waist down, and I don't have much control on my legs.
Oh, okay. Can you throw the ball instead?
Yeah, I can throw a ball, okay. That's not a problem. Just so long as I don't fall over.
Simone, do you want to kick the football with me?
I can't, Grace. You know I'm in a wheelchair.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you.
Of course you didn't. It's a blind kid, of course.
What else do you want to do then?
Well, we can listen to music. I've got my own tunes.
Yeah, okay.
Am I asleep? Am I awake or somewhere in between? I can't believe that you are here and lying next to me. Yeah, that'll be my dream, lying next to Liam. Fine.
Some disabilities are obvious, some aren't so obvious, and some you don't even know are there. Take me, for example. You wouldn't know that my disability is obvious until I have my cane with me. But I don't let my disability stand in my way of doing stuff. I do media studies at a sports college. I've represented ACT in the school sports swimming. I've also represented ACT in the New South Wales Cycling Championships. And I am first reserve for the Australian Youth Goalball team. Focus on my abilities, not my disability.
The very first Focus on Ability film competition was aimed exclusively at high schools, and Nova has a commitment to educate and inspire the youth of today through the film competition. Here's the 2014 Nova Choice Award winner, St Clair's College, with Meg, a teenager at school.
I'm a girl. I'm 14 years old. Person, I would say I'm not the smartest, but I'm not dumb either. School is hard at times and fun and interesting at times as well. I am proud of myself sometimes when I get good marks. Couldn't know that I've been trying hard because I knew it was going to be harder than primary, and I knew that they do things differently in high school. I love PDHPE. It's my favourite. Well, I like tennis, and swimming, butterfly, breaststroke, and freestyle, and backstroke. I got one for Special Olympics. Going through it. It was a participation certificate. I know I'm different. I know I'm different to everyone else because I get left out a lot in stuff because they all think just because I'm not the same as them I can't do what they can do. Maybe if they knew a bit more about my condition, they might understand why I'm different. Yeah, it is frustrating. I'm not a very talkative person when it comes to my feelings. I just try and keep them in until it destroys me. Because I don't have much friends, so I kind of brought up the invisible people, so I'd have someone to talk to at recess and lunch. Well, I am royalty. Yeah, because I believe in invisible people, and my invisible mum is the queen, so I'm the princess. My princess name is Molly. I can't really say my mum and dad's name because they're kind of secret. Because they don't really sit with me, so I just sit by myself and talk to my invisible friends. Teenagers don't really do much. I spend most of my time in my room on my computer and reading and stuff. Yeah, I like music, Ricky Martin and One Direction and 5 Seconds of Summer. Sometimes they did a song I really like, I just sing. I like dancing. I think I'm a good dancer, but I don't think anyone else does. I only dance when I have too much energy. Then I just dance. I'm trying to get into the danceability, but it's too full. It may take till next year, but I can just wait. My sister makes me laugh because she always says some really funny stuff. And sometimes my mum makes me laugh as well. My mum inspires me to try hard. When I leave school, I would like to be a childcare worker because I'm really good with little kids. My heroes are my mum and my grandpa because Mum survived breast cancer and Grandpa lived for a while. He was really sick and then they said that he wouldn't live, but he lived longer than they said that he would. I come from a family that don't give in, they're fighters. My family is perfect because I love them all and they all love me. So that's pretty perfect.
And if you're still bleeding, you're the lucky ones. 'Cause most of our...
Without sponsors, our competition wouldn't be the success that it is today. Healthy Inspirations is not a gym, but a 3-in-1 weight loss solution for women. Check them out at healthyinspirations.com.au. We would like to thank Jamie Hayes and the team at Healthy Inspirations for their support. Up next is Victoria's Salesian College Rupertswood with Because I Can.
I used to believe in monsters. I used to believe in ghosts too. It kept me up at night. I always was so worried about what would happen to me if they got me. Would they let me live? Would they kill me? Or would they just sit there forever and wait? But I started hearing this voice in my head. It told me things that I didn't want to hear, things that made me hate myself, things that I believed. But soon, that voice turned into something more than just a voice. It became an emptiness in my stomach. It's almost felt like a hole. I didn't think it was possible to be so empty, yet so full of pain. reality is a prison because we are stuck in this endless loop of time. We didn't ask to be here. It was just pure chance that it was our unfortunate souls who were chosen to be a part of this life. This voice, it never stops. It's become a part of me. It goes wherever I go and always talks to me. I feel so guilty. I don't know why sometimes. I just do. I've become lost inside my mind. This voice in my head, it's trying to kill me. Her name's Deb. The voice in my head. She told me. She has other friends too. Kat and Sue. Have you ever cried so much that it hurts? Not just emotionally, but physically, until the core of your stomach is on fire, until every muscle in your body aches so much that you can barely breathe, and it feels like you have repeatedly been punched in the chest? Have you ever felt like you don't know what's going on anymore? Like you just don't care about anything anymore? Sometimes I wonder if I died, would anyone even care? Been so confused about your feelings. Sometimes I wonder how you feel. That feeling of emptiness and the feeling that no one is there. If I died, would anyone? The feeling that no one understands you, and it seems like there's nothing to live for. Yeah, I get those feelings too. The truth is, all those monsters and ghosts are real, but not the kind that live under your bed or inside your closet, but the kind that lives inside of you. That was my life 8 months ago. I thought I had no point to live. I thought everyone hated me. I thought I would be better off dead. It's amazing. I never pictured my life to be the way it is now. I never thought I would actually be happy, but I am. Looking back at it now, I was useless. I had no abilities or talent. At least that's what I thought. But now, I realize that I do.
Nova Employment operates the Transition to Work program. Transition to Work is a state-funded program that assists students graduating from high school to make the transition to employment. To find out more, visit transition.com.au. Now, here is South Australia's Glenunga International High School with Tell Me, Are You Happy?
In terms of having a stutter, sorry, I'm a bit nervous about this.
The spoken word is the most powerful means of communication, and unless you can communicate well, you really have little effect on the world around you.
Communication disorders often have a major effect on the social lives and connections of sufferers, influencing self-esteem and confidence.
I think it's only just recently that I've become aware of how much my lifetime of stuttering really did affect my social life. Very shy as a young man, wouldn't speak to young girls. Had a relationship when I was 12 for about 2 years. Used to walk around hand in hand, but I don't think I spoke to her for 2 years.
But new technologies have and still are being developed to help assist those with communication disorders. Mobile devices such as the tablet have had a significant effect due to their low cost in comparison with assistive technologies.
I love you.
Not able to tell people you love them. Not able to say your marriage vows. I know dozens of people who stutter who have never gotten married because they were afraid they would stutter in the church.
People who stutter often find things like introducing themselves to be one of the more difficult things in their everyday life and will struggle to meet new people.
For example, introductions were the really hard bit to get. The fact that stutterers have problems saying their name.
Usually when I meet new people, the first thing I think of is, oh no, they're gonna know I stutter and them are gonna judge. So
see, as a stutterer you can pretty much hide, and you can get through by just quick chat and that sort of thing, but constantly you're trying to hide the fact that you have a stutter.
However, after becoming familiar with people, it becomes much easier for them to communicate fluently.
Most of my school friends were really nice.
I went right through high school thinking I was the only person in the world who stuttered. So being part of a support group of really nice, supportive people, I think many of my closest friends are people who stutter, because I'm confident there's no judgment there, we're all in the same boat, trying to achieve the same end. So when you share something so powerful as that with other people, it certainly brings you closer.
Oh, well, I guess stuttering has helped me forge friendships with fellow stutterers. I joined my first support group when I was probably about 19 or 20, and some of those people I met in those groups became quite good friends, and that continues on to this day.
Certainly, I feel that I've been victimised. I guess the worst would have been though during school. You know, that's pretty brutal in terms of bullying.
We do know that 82% of kids who stutter will be teased or bullied weekly, which is a lot, and so if they have those strong social connections, then it gives them some resilience for that.
But I remember telephoning this person because I wanted to look at the price of one. So I asked him how much a Woogie amplifier was, but of course I stuttered on the W because that was a pretty hard letter for me. His answer was, oh, so you want to know how much a Woogie amplifier is?
We're all victimised, we're all discriminated against. Society needs to change their attitude to people who are a little bit different.
I think as human beings, that's a core part of being human, those social networks. We're part of a society. The sense of belonging is very, very critical for all of us.
How important is communication to me? Communication is vital. I think it's what really makes life worth living.
But I would add that I have learnt that you don't have to be perfect in your communication to be happy.
Thank you for joining us for this schools episode of the Focus on Ability film competition. Promoting ability within schools is a major goal for us, and so if you or your school are interested in competing in 2015, why not get some more information from focusonability.com.au. Bye for now.
You lock your gaze onto my face.